What's up, Rick? Just going through your videos. So, how comfortable are you feeling with the bench? I noticed that you're using kind of super band right there, and that would make sense. It gives you a little bit more grip. But I'm wondering how that feels in your hand. If it feels solid. Um, the weight on these seem pretty easy, dude. My only critique on these is just kind of that transition phase from coming down to going up. And what I'm really looking at is just kind of the consistency of the bar path, bar speed. So I'm going to slow this down a little bit. It's just kind of when you get right to here, you kind of drop it and you kind of arch your back a little bit. It's just that little fast drop. Boom, right there. So if you could just kind of pull that in just a little bit more controlled and start to raise the chest as you start pulling down. So like think about rowing the bar into your chest and just try to keep that bar speed consistent all the way down. We don't want any fluctuations in the descent speed. We just want a nice, smooth, consistent, eccentric all the way down, touch the chest and drive up. So on the squats, good job not walking out too far. That's really going to help, especially when the weight gets heavier. Only thing I noticed on a couple of these, it looks like your weight's kind of shifting forward a little bit. I want you to pay attention to your left heel. And I want you to notice how your heels, actually you can see a little bit more on your right, how your heels kind of come off the ground just a tiny bit. That tells me that the weight's shifting forward a little bit. And that just means that on your way down, if you take a look at your bar path here, so on your way down, you kind of shift forward a little bit on your way down. And now when you come up, your weight's already shifted forward, so your heel's going to come off the ground just a tiny bit. So just imagine that the bar is riding in a vertical path, path of least resistance, and keep the weight balanced over the midfoot. That's all I really want you to focus on these, is just keeping the weight centered over the midfoot as you come up, as you go down and as you come up. And also, too, just make sure you're driving your knees out. I see some valgus collapse here on the way up. You want to just check out that knee right there. Actually, the shank angle, you can see what I'm talking about. That slight collapse right there. So, keep the weight balanced over the midfoot and keep driving your knees out. When the knees collapse in, you'll shift back on the hips just a little bit more. So just keep those knees out. Aside from that, man, these pretty good session. Good job with the notes. And let's see here. Yeah, man, keep kicking ass.